Tonight, the Ministry of Health takes its fight against COVID-19 to a new level. The government of St. Lucia announces that the existing COVID-19 prevention and control protocols have been extended until February 16, and the people react to the SOE extension. All this and more coming up in tonight's broadcast.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovelies and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Thursday, the 11th of February 2021. Welcome to the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. I'm Rochelle Gonzalez, standing in for lovely Saint Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us. In an effort to scale up testing for COVID-19 nationally, the Ministry of Health introduces the rapid antigen tests at specific points of care. The testing option shall commence through a two-phase approach. The first phase shall focus on the validation of the test, which is a standard activity prior to the full-scale introduction of any diagnostic test. In this validation phase, people who come for COVID-19 testing at the Victoria Hospital, Owen King European Union Hospital, the St. Jude Hospital, and the VG Sports Complex testing outpost will be offered antigen tests. Acting National Epidemiologist Dr. Dana da Costa Gomez gave more details on the initiative.
The validation phase covers a one-week period and is expected to be completed by February 13, 2021. Due to the high prevalence of COVID-19 in St. Lucia, any individual with symptoms suggestive of COVID-19 who tests positive on an antigen test is considered a confirmed COVID-19 case. However, while the validation phase is being undertaken, anyone presenting for testing at the clinics which were previously mentioned receives both an antigen and a COVID-19 PCR test. It is important to note that a negative antigen result does not necessarily mean the absence of COVID-19 infection, particularly as it is possible to get a negative test result despite having symptoms suggestive of COVID-19 or being a contact of a confirmed case.
Dr. Gomez said individuals who receive a negative result on an antigen test should confirm that diagnosis with a PCR test and continue to quarantine at home until receipt of their DNA PCR results.
The antigen test detects the presence of a specific protein of the COVID-19 virus. A positive test in someone with symptoms indicates that they presently have the virus. Like the sampling procedure for the COVID-19 PCR test, the antigen test requires a swab sample to be taken from the nose. Antigen tests offer some advantages for both the individual and the healthcare system. They are fairly inexpensive. The test can be used within non-health settings as well as within clinical settings where individuals seek care, such as respiratory clinics or hospital emergency rooms. They provide results in approximately 20 minutes. There is no need for highly technical staff to perform the antigen test. The antigen test allows for rapid detection and isolation of cases, particularly those people presenting with symptoms. The quick turnaround time of test results allow for faster identification of high-risk contacts of confirmed cases.
This validation phase is required to ensure the reliability of the antigen tests as a diagnostic tool. On completion of this validation and the confirmation of its reliability, the second phase will be implemented. During this phase, select respiratory clinics will become dedicated antigen testing sites on island. In other news, as the government of St. Lucia continues to manage the COVID-19 pandemic and further contain the spread of the virus, the current protocols and measures have been extended until Tuesday, the 16th of February 2021. The measures which still stand include work from home and reduced contact meetings, business operating hours, COVID-19 Act Section 17, where all business operations and commercial activities must end by 7 p.m. daily. Essential and non-essential activities allowed to open, including gas stations, supermarkets, financial services, public transportation, vendors on rotation with protocols, hotels for international tourists, and doctors' offices, to name a few. Prohibition of all social gatherings, including faith-based organizations, restriction on in-dining restaurant services, prohibition of all sporting activity, gyms included, suspension of face-to-face classroom teaching. Still on the topic, the news of the extension of the COVID-19 prevention and control protocols have been met with mixed reactions among a number of sectors, as well as the opposition St. Lucia Labour Party, ranging from those who welcome the decision to those who believe that there are ulterior motives behind the move. So on Thursday morning, the Hot 7 team set out to hear what members of the public thought of the extension. Here's what they had to say.
Well, my thought on that is, he's the boss, he's ruling. Whatever he feels that is best, let him do it. That's all I can say nothing again. If he sees that's what's best, well, we have to follow. Or else the people are supposed to know what to do.
Well, it's the authority opinion to decide about to extend on the state of emergency. But some people feel it's too hard, but some measures have to be taken place for people to realize that we are facing a pandemic. And then in that pandemic, we have to take some tragic measures for human beings to understand themselves what it's all about.
You say five to stay alive. You say go do this, do that. You check it. And all made cabinet members. Especially I have a little pity for Belrose, but and Mr. Montut. But to me the rest of them fellas are pharaohs. You check it. You cannot do that, guys. So when you tell me you think from 7 to 5. What's about little SNS? You don't have no pity for the girls and them that working at the SNS. You check it. The same Syrians that just support you all as in the party. All majority of the Syrians are flabos. You shut their country. You shut them. They have Malawi's working inside of there. You check it. You don't have pity for them. Come on, man, boss man. Come on, man, Mr. Sharpnegasa. Reveal that, man.
Yes, it's good because this virus is rampaging here right now, and it's not everybody following the protocol. So so it's very good, at least for people to have time for them to prepare themselves and to know how deep it is, because the amount of people that died here have no idea. So that's why many people like they're ignorant about it. But it's very dangerous. So what he put there is very good.
The secret is the people not hate. Because the distance, the people don't hate the distance. Put your mask whilst walking, you're not doing it. So they have to make an example out of them for that thing. That's what I have to say.
Well, when I look at it, they extend it, but I don't think that will slow down on the coronavirus, because it's there already. And no matter what you do, we have to live with it. It is there already. You can shut down, you can close down, it's there already, we have to live with it.
Disagree with the extension of the state of emergency. It is just that the people have to follow the protocol to protect themselves and to protect all of us. And then just cooperate with the authorities, cooperate with the government, cooperate with the police, and so on, and then we might beat that corona.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us because still to come, Hermangild Francis addresses the use of mobile phones by inmates at the Borderley Correctional Facility. The government receives a failing grade for its vaccination plans for the people. And is the recent donation of 5,000 e-books to students too little too late? Find out after this break.